Welcome to episode 143 of the Forward from 50 podcast, where we interview people over 50 who are pursuing new directions for their lives. It's an opportunity for men and women to tell their stories their way and in their own words. I'm Greg Gerber, the founder of Forward from 50, and your host for today's show. Today I get to interview Kevin Kolbe, who has spent his entire life creating. From his early years that were filled with imagination and storytelling to a 30-year career in television, Kevin has always been drawn to the creative process. After working at major network affiliates as a creative director, he suddenly found himself without a job in his late 50s. Rather than retire or start over in corporate life, Kevin turned to YouTube and discovered a whole new calling by helping others to express themselves through video. Today, Kevin runs a successful YouTube channel and coaching business where he helps people over 50 to start their own channels and to learn to create videos that make an impact. In our conversation, Kevin shared several key takeaways. First, creativity doesn't retire. The skills and experiences that you've gained over decades can be transformed into something new that inspires other people. Second, YouTube is one of the best, most accessible tools for people over 50 to share their wisdom and passions. It's free to use and offers endless opportunities to connect with others. Third, you don't need fancy gear or a studio to get started. A phone, good audio, and natural light are often enough to make meaningful content. Fourth, authenticity is more powerful than perfection. Viewers connect most with people who are genuine, not polished. Finally, faith, trust, and purpose often deepen after 50, and for Kevin, God's direction turned a job loss into a mission to encourage and equip others. To tell us why it's never too late to create or to teach and leave a legacy of inspiration for future generations, please welcome YouTube creator Kevin Kolbe to the show. Thanks for joining me today, Kevin. I really appreciate the time. You felt called to create. Tell us how you felt that calling come on.
It's funny, ever since I've been a kid, probably still kiddish even at my age, I just always have enjoyed creative things. I had a very vivid imagination growing up, extremely vivid imagination. On some of my early report cards, I would have written, Kevin's quite chatty. Kevin talks a lot. And so I played and I was an only child, still am. And so I would create things and universes and stuff like that. So it's always been that way. And I've always been intrigued, especially as I got older, with the creative process. Greg, I know how old you are. You don't have to tell me, but there was a time where Blu-rays, when you could rent and buy Blu-rays and DVDs, and you would get the bonus features and the director's tracks and the behind the scenes. And I enjoy watching movies. In fact, I've ruined it for my wife, unfortunately, because she could just watch it as a viewer. But I like to watch it as a viewer to be entertained. And then also, how did they do that? And why did they do that? So it's just always the way I've been wired. And I was fascinated with radio when I was little and actually had a chance to get into radio, actually on the radio as I started college, and was a DJ for 5 years, including right after college, and then had a chance to get into television. And I'm like, well, I like that. I can spell TV. I can do that. And was in television for over 30-something years. And as the last job as a creative director, and had an amazing creative team. And so I've just always liked the process. I just like creating, and I do believe it's one of my gifts that God's blessed me with is creating, among other ones. And there's a lot of it that comes easy for me, not necessarily that it's good. It's just a lot of it comes easier for me as opposed to other things. So it's just one of those things I've been very blessed to do. And then, of course, working in television, being able to really, you kind of get paid to create. And it was like, okay, I like this. I like this a lot.
So did your career involve working for television?
Yes. Okay. So after radio, I got into television, and I worked for, not necessarily in this order, but I worked for a Fox affiliate twice. The irony is my first job in television was at an independent station. I was the promotion manager. I was it. It was myself and the graphic artist, and that was it. And I knew nothing about television. They taught me everything, or actually it was more hands-on learning, but I was on air and everything. But I worked for an NBC station, CBS station, ABC station. I even actually oversaw a CW station for a while. And so I was in television for a long time, different stations. And the last television group I worked at, I was there for right at 24 years.
Wow.
Started at the CBS station as a promotion producer. So all TV stations have like their own, if you think about internal production company agency. And the job is to promote all things the station does, including maybe commercials for clients and things like that, programming, depending on the station setup. So that the last station group I was at, I started there as a promotion producer, got promoted to the senior producer, got promoted to the on-air promotion manager, which was like second to the creative director. And then we also had a Fox station, and I'd helped with the launch of it. And my buddy was the creative director. He moved back to wherever he was from, and they called and said, "Hey, you want to move over and be the creative director?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds fun." So I was the creative director on that side for a little over 14 years.
Wow.
Until the position finally got eliminated. So yeah, I was in TV for a long time.
And then after you turned 50, you moved into YouTube, I understand.
Yeah, it's funny. So I think it was 57 when my position got eliminated, which I knew was coming just because of the way, I can only speak for broadcasting. I think a lot of different industries face downsizing and attrition and whatever they want to call it. But I know in broadcasting, the teams were getting smaller. There was companies that would buy a bunch of TV stations, and then they would have what they called a hub, and they would operate all the stations from one location. So I knew it was a matter of time, just because my team got cut in half and expenses were getting a lot. And ironically, I started my YouTube channel in January of 2017, and my position got eliminated that March.
Wow.
And now when I started my channel, I wish I had some amazing story. I wanted to document my journey through life. And I just started a channel because I knew of YouTube for years. We used it as a station, but I wasn't thinking about actually having a channel that became basically my core thing I did. So that kind of lined up, but it took me a while to actually get serious about it. And then even last year, even refocusing it. So yeah, all that happened like around, when I was 57.
I love that you loved your career. You were really engaged in it, and it gave you fulfillment, sense of purpose, meaning, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And when you retired, you just shifted a little bit into your own kind of thing and creating a YouTube platform around what
and actually I didn't retire. You could argue they retired me, because the position was eliminated. Yeah, I haven't retired. I'm not at retirement age. And I had a friend that he's several years older than me, and he said people would ask him, "What are you going to do when you retire?" And he goes, "Why would I retire? I get up now, I do some voice work, I read the paper, and I drink coffee. So after I retire, I'll get up, I'll do some voice work, I'll read the paper, and I'll drink some coffee. What's the difference?" And it's that way with me. It's my studio, my office is a former bedroom upstairs in our home. So I get to work at home. I have lunch every day with my wife and our youngest son. So it's, what am I retiring from? I'm the team, and I'm a good boss.
Good boss.
Yeah. But yeah, I really loved what I did in television. Not all parts of it. It's just like any job. I didn't love doing budgets. I didn't love meetings. I didn't love the few times we had to let people go for various reasons. I didn't like that. But there was so much I enjoyed. And getting paid to be around a creative team, probably when I led the creative team at the Fox station, because they were just amazing, absolutely amazing. And I stopped doing anything creatively other than leading, because I was living through them. But it was so much fun to lead that team and do things. And on the Fox side, we were more of an entertainment station. Our sister station did our newscast. So we could play a lot and do a lot more different things. And we did live shows and events and what we called cause marketing initiatives that were working more with like a nonprofit or something that would better the community. And a lot of that came from our owner because he believed in that. Yeah, I mean, I always enjoyed it. I don't look back at my time in television, even when they cut the position, it was like, man, I got ripped off. I had a very blessed life and that part of it, and still look back on it fondly. I don't miss it. That's the funny thing. I don't miss it, especially when the weather's bad, because I don't have to go into the station.
That's right.
I can stay home.
So your YouTube channel is focused on helping others to create and share their gifts and make an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you stumble into that particular niche?
That's a good one. If you look back at the early videos, I was just doing a little bit of everything. And I like teaching is one of my gifts, I believe. And I know that teaching is one of my gifts. Let me state it as a statement, say it as a statement. And I like that. And I like helping people, those light bulb moments go off and see that, oh, wow, there's something to do here. And video has been really good for me over the years, being in that type of, even in television, we did other things, but the bulk of it was television, which was video. And I've seen how it could bless my life and the impact video can have, even just off YouTube and stuff like that. It's kind of like music. You don't even have to speak the same language, but you can understand the music. And I've seen video cut across language and stuff like that. Been on a couple of mission trips where you're showing the video to the kids who don't speak your English, nor do I speak their language. And it's just really cool. So it's just what I gravitated toward, helping people do that. Quite honestly, it may have been a phrase that I thought, this sounds good on paper, I can speak it back. I don't get too wound up about that sometimes, about exactly what do you do. It's just I can help people with video. I don't profess to be an expert at all. I'm just somebody that I understand it. I know a lot about it, some aspects of it, and enjoy it. I just enjoy it.
It must be successful for you because you amassed 100,000 subscribers relatively quickly, didn't you?
I don't know. I can ask you what's your definition of quickly. I started in 2017, like I said. And then in 2024, right before what I call refocused my channel, I didn't pivot, but when I refocused it, I was right around 14,000 subscribers. And that took a while to get there, and I'd seen some good growth. Like I'd hit 10,000 subscribers. I think I hit 10,000 subscribers in December of 2023. And so then it took me another 7 months to get 4,000. So I was at 14,000 subscribers, which again is great. And I don't like, And then I decided to refocus my channel, meaning be more specific of who I was talking to, not necessarily the why, the over 40. And there was a whole bunch of reasons why that. And then I dropped that video. If you're over 40, you need to start a YouTube channel. I think something like the title, with zero idea it would do what it did at all. I know there's people out there that they want to tell you that they know how to do viral and all this other stuff. Maybe they do. It's odd that not all their videos go viral if it's that easy.
Exactly.
That's all I'll say about that. And I had no idea. None. Zero. And so when I published that video, 1st of August, 2024, I was at 14,000 subscribers. And then I think in June or July of this year, 2025, is when I hit 100,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane. And it was growing so fast. I was like, somebody's got to be messing with me. I've never seen something like this before. Mm-hmm. And everything changed. The number of comments, the number of subscribers. I started doing coaching more. I'd offered coaching, but I hadn't really put it out there more. And I started being booked more. And it was great, been fun. And things ebb and flow, and that's fine. But yeah, I would have never, ever. It's one of those things like, it'd be cool to have the silver play, but you're like, I just didn't ever imagine it. It's crazy.
I think a lot of people would be happy at 10,000 subscribers because YouTube requires 1,000 in order to be monetized and start earning a little bit.
Yeah,
money?
if you want to get, there's a smaller threshold, but it doesn't really unlock much at all. The real threshold is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time within a 12-month period.
Okay.
Once you could hit 1,000 subscribers, but maybe only have 500 watch hours. It's possible. I think that's the one thing that people think, if you've got this many subscribers, you should have this many views, and it just doesn't work that way. I always tell people to think of how you watch YouTube. Do you subscribe to every channel of every video you watched? Probably not. So that's the way it works. And so yeah, that's when you're invited into the partner program. And of course, there's some niches earn more: financial, health, fitness, wellness. A lot of those will earn more because the advertisers can pay more. I don't get paid. I get something from YouTube every month based on ads that are run on the channel, but I don't look at the ads. I don't run the ads or anything like that. It's just a percentage.
The ads change based on the viewers' preferences, correct?
It can be, but you can see overall what your channel does, but then you can drill it down into the videos. So some videos over time may earn a lot more than other videos. But that is the beauty with YouTube, is when you're in the partner program, if I've got a video that's 5 years old, it may still be earning money. It may not be a lot, but it's still earning something. And you never know who's going to see it, because YouTube is all about viewer satisfaction, what people may want to see. And I'll have somebody comment on a video that I may have done 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm like, I don't even remember what I said in the video. Thank you. I hope it helped you.
It seems to me that creating a YouTube channel would be an ideal opportunity for a person over 50 to make an impact and still have a meaningful purpose for their life.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. YouTube is free, totally free to start. I don't ever, and I could be wrong, but I don't ever see YouTube getting to a point where they're going to charge you to have a channel. I don't think YouTube, at least in my lifetime, is in danger of being sold off, like an advertiser coming in and buying them. And on top of that, being owned by Google, and Google being like the second biggest search engine, or no, it's actually Google's the biggest search engine. You can have videos show up in Google search something. And I've had several videos that have grown because of Google search. And that's a benefit of it. You won't grow any of your other social media that way. And yeah, there's an algorithm, and you can't control the algorithm, but YouTube knows what it's doing, where like Instagram, it's just a hot mess. Every day is, okay, no, we're videos, no, we're photos, no, we're photos and videos, no, we're vertical videos, no, we're shopping, whatever. So yeah, I don't think you have to have it all figured out at all to start a YouTube channel. I don't think you have to worry about having all the gear to get started. I think you just have to get started, and you can obviously figure it out as you go. And then you have to decide ultimately what success is for you. It's different for different people.
What are some of the things seasoned citizens can talk about on their YouTube channel?
Oh yeah. Did you say what are?
Yeah.
Think about this. We have a life experience that younger people don't. That is not to knock younger people at all. I'm not one of these young people, even though I will say I'm not going to hire a 21-year-old life coach. Now, the 21-year-old may have made more money from me than I did in his last month, and I have in a lifetime. I don't doubt that. But there's certain things, and if you think about it, it could be anything. It could be what you do for a living, what you did for a living, your passions, what you're learning as in your second chapter of life. Maybe you've retired, and it's what retirement is like. It can be anything. Whatever you can think of, I guarantee you there's an audience for it. It may not be ginormous, but there's an audience for it.
And it could be a hobby. I know that
it could be a hobby.
One of the YouTube channels that I follow was started by a woman who calls herself the Money Mom. And all she does is offer tips on how to save money. And it's just, there's nothing professional about her videos in any way. She's just out there sharing what's on her heart. And she's amassed quite a following doing that.
Yeah, and I see that in the comments sometimes. People will say, I don't really care about turning this into a job or making money. I just want to share what I like and then do that. Mm-hmm. There is no, some people would argue there's a wrong way to do it, but I think the wrong way is only attributed to why did you start and what do you expect?
Okay.
There's only a few must-do things on YouTube. After that, I can show you a video that supposedly follows the rules and does okay, and another one that follows the rules and doesn't, and one that doesn't follow any of the rules and does one. It's just, it's so much is up to the person viewing about what they are interested in. And I still to this day have more people that watch my videos that don't subscribe. So that means then I have more people that maybe get introduced to something I'm talking about, or they're interested in this, or they're not interested in it. And that's okay too. So it's one of those things you're never going to know if you don't put yourself out there.
To help people start their own YouTube channels, you have written 2 books. Can you tell us a little about those?
One is called Live Streaming Made Easy. It's my first book ever. I'd always wanted to write a book. It's not the book I thought I would write first, but I just felt called to write that and got it out there. And then the second one is Video Podcasting Made Easy. And I co-wrote that with a friend of mine, Ross Brand, who ironically was a huge supporter of my first book. We've known each other for a while. And he had me on his video podcast to talk about my first book. And during the interview, he said, "Do you have another book planned?" And I said, "I don't know. I might do something on video podcasting. I haven't really thought about it." So then off air, he says to me after the interview, he goes, "Hey, I don't know if you'd be interested. I'd be happy if you want to co-write the book." And I'm like, I hadn't thought about that. So that started that process. And but then we co-wrote that book together. And ironically, both have been bestsellers. And I've enjoyed it. It's cool to have an author by your name. There's more books I want to write. I don't want to write just video, YouTube related books. There's other ones I want to write, but I probably have more books I want to write than I'll probably ever write. But I'm also okay with that too. There's always something that you can think about. Maybe I do a video on this. Maybe I do that. As long as you just sit around and think about it so much that you don't do anything.
That's right. Need the action. That's my biggest problem. You have 2 courses available as well to help people get started. Can you talk about that?
Right now, there's the one course, and it's the Thumbnails Made Easy. Okay. One of the things I decided to do was I saw that come up a lot in the comments. People were really stuck on the thumbnails. So I just decided to create one, kind of go through. It's not about creating thumbnails that will get the most clicks and views and you'll just be the most popular kid on the block. It's like, how do you make a thumbnail?
Right.
How do you put text on a thumbnail? What are some best practices and things like that? So that's all it's about. My belief on the courses is you should make them as easy to follow through and then do something from without just overwhelming the person. So there's some other courses that I've got planned. I just haven't gotten around to doing yet. That may be more on editing or more just on the overall, everything you need to know to just even get into creating content, not necessarily be a content creator, because that's a career as opposed to just, I want to just create content. Where do I even start?
That's a good point, that you don't have to make this a career. A lot of people think it's too much work. It's too much like work, when in fact we wanted something that wakes you up in the morning, gets you excited, and you want to share with others.
This is what I do full time. So this is my job, if you will. And there's some days it's just, I'm not going to do anything today just because it is work and it can take a lot of work. But you can also create content, do YouTube videos just for fun when you want to. In fact, I would say if you want to just do YouTube for fun, then don't ever worry about analytics. Don't look at how the videos are doing. Just produce them and put them out there and just go with it. You can always change that at any point. You can always pivot at any time. But I think that's how you keep your sanity. Stay out of the analytics, especially if it's just, it's just one of those things. I'm just doing this to do it. And you never know where it's going to go. I've got a friend who started her YouTube channel. This is the story as I've always understood it. I probably should do an interview with her to verify this. But she started her YouTube channel just to help people with their GoPros, because she kept getting people saying, I'm going on a family trip and I bought this GoPro. This was years ago. So she started her channel. Since then, she's pivoted her channel a couple of times, but now it is her full-time business. And she started it just to help people. Yeah. If you think about it, it's a free video sharing archiving platform, if you want to just look at it that way. So there is that.
I remember the statistics that show how many hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. And I think that puts people off, because if there's that much, there's no reason to start. It's, but you don't see it all, because YouTube is always going to be trying. Now, when you start your account, they don't know anything about you. In fact, it used to be, and they've changed this, It used to be whenever you started a YouTube channel or when you first opened YouTube, not necessarily to create, that you would get a lot of videos showed you on the home feed. That's called browse. And now you get nothing. They ask you, what are you interested in? So they're actually letting you guide them at first. And then that's what you'll start seeing some of. And then same thing when you're creating, when you're putting your first video out there, several dozen videos or whatever, YouTube is still trying to figure out more about who might potentially want to watch what you're doing. Again, they're always going to be about viewer satisfaction. They're extremely creator friendly, the best platform out there, but they're all about the viewer because at the end of the day, they sell ads and that's how they make their money.
Some folks might want a little bit more hand-holding rather than doing all the research and having to figure it out on their own. Do you offer coaching to people to start a channel?
Yeah, I do. I do. And have been very blessed to help a lot of folks, some folks who haven't started. I just had a session the other day with a person who she's ready to start, but she hasn't started yet. And I've helped people that have already started and they're maybe stuck or they want me to review their channel or their videos and or people that know specifically, I want to start doing video podcasts or something like that. What do I do? And so, yeah, that's any number of things that I can help people with and really get a kick out of it too.
What are some of the topics that you would be able to help people with through coaching?
A lot of it maybe just be how to get started. If I can't decide your niche for you, your area of topic, but we can talk through that. In fact, one of my earlier coaching clients, she had a myriad of things she wanted to do, but we kept coming back to one that I could just tell when she talked about it really lit her up. And she was downplaying because she didn't think there would be an audience there. And I said, oh, I think you'll find a big audience for that. I've also talked to folks. In fact, I had somebody the other day who was doing audio only. Greg, we had that conversation right before we went on, and she's so ready to do video, and she has more than enough gear. So it was walking her through the process of what that might look like. I've helped people with their workflow. I've helped people who have started their channel, they're X number of videos into it, but they just feel like there's no direction there. So we'll look at what they've been doing and I'll help them with ideas of here's where I might go or whatever. And a lot of times it involves looking at their YouTube channel if they have one. And I always look at it from a casual viewer. I was like, somebody's just come up on your channel. If you've told me what you do, I get that. And we've even gone as far as looking at their website. If the goal is to get somebody back to my website for an offer or something like that, does your website align with your YouTube channel? And if it doesn't, and I'm having to jump through too many hoops, or here's a bonus tip, I want to take people from my YouTube channel to my website, but all your links are to Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, you've just made it harder for me. And so that's a lot of what I do on the sessions.
Okay. Will you help people identify the type of equipment to get?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
And there's a budget for everybody.
Or not to get.
Right. There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah. Or not to get. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think that would be very confusing for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I see people do, they'll say, well, hey, what's the best camera for? And there's no best camera. Period. It's what's your budget? And I've done videos on this, what's your budget? You got to start there because otherwise you'll go and buy the $3,000 camera because there's a lot of YouTubers out there that say it's an amazing camera and it might be. But if you've got a $2,000 budget, what about lenses and mics and batteries and things? So it's what's your budget? What do you intend to do with it? Are you a camping person? You're going to be traveling or are you going to be in a studio? And a lot of other things like that to think about as well. You always start there first because quite honestly, you should be able to create content with any type of gear, period.
Do people need a formal studio in order to create this?
No. They can do something in their car. They could do something outside. They could do something at a card table in their den. It doesn't really matter.
Okay. Do they have to worry about lighting in YouTube and creating video?
You should. The most important part of video is actually audio. Is that, now granted, if I've got a light here, so if I turn this off, that doesn't look great. It's still steamy a little. That looks better. But if I turned my mic off totally,
right,
and it was hard to hear me, If you've got an iPhone, you've got a camera. And if you can't afford anything, just get closer to your iPhone. I always talk about the audio as being more important because typically people will put up with really bad video, but they won't put up with audio if they can't hear you.
I heard Windows,
especially if you're teaching something or whatever. But lighting is important, but you can do natural lighting. I always say, hey, God, thanks for the free light because I've got a window right over here. And I've shot at this table just with the window lighting me. The basics are the visual, the audio, and within the visual, you could say, what are you going to capture the video with? And is there enough light to see you? Which could be a lamp.
Mm-hmm. Windows just did an update on my computer yesterday, and one of the things they added to it was the ability to connect a phone, my Android phone, to Windows and use that as a webcam. So
very nice.
That is neat.
Yeah. I know Mac has done that. Mac did that a while back with, they call it continuity camera. You could always connect a camera, but now wirelessly, if you're on the same Wi-Fi network, it'll actually just detect your camera. And it's really cool. And I don't know how far back it goes on the iPhones, but I don't think you need the latest iPhone for that to work.
One thing that I think holds a lot of people back from embracing YouTube as a possibility is they feel the need to edit the videos to make them look professional. How important is that?
I don't think it matters as much as people think. I think a lot of it may have to do with your audience. I think it may have to do with what you're teaching. If you're teaching something very technical that needs to be tightened up, there's some there. You just said something that I like to challenge people on. You said to look professional. What does that mean? I use this example a lot. If you take the movie Avatar and you put it up beside the Blair Witch Project, and you just say, which one looks more professional? You'd say Avatar. For me, which one's more enjoyable? Oh, Blair Witch, hands down. Which one was made for a fraction of the cost? Blair Witch. So it's all about what you decide that way. You don't have to edit. You can do minimal editing. There's programs out there that can edit for you, and there's people that can edit for you. I do think the mistake people make, and there's always an exception to everything, that they try and outsource things, editing, way too soon before they even know what they're looking for. And I think learning the basics of it, now again, there's an exception. You know, I've got a friend, she's a mom, 3 kids, running a business, married, she's got a lot going on. She might be to a point where she needs to outsource editing because she's actually got the gear where she can actually record everything herself. I think that's the exception. But I think too often it's just, I'll just get somebody to edit me because I don't understand it. Then how are you going to tell them to edit it? You don't have to edit. You can edit a little, you can edit a lot. I always think about what does the video need? Greg, I can overproduce better than anybody. I could probably win an award for overproducing. And it's just easy to do because I enjoy the editing. But then do I need those graphics? Do I need those jump cuts? Do I need all that things in there? Or is the ultimate story most important? If it's something visual that I'm talking about, if I'm talking about this tumbler I'm drinking out of, and I'm talking about it, I probably should show it. But if I'm just talking about, I don't know, we're just talking, I may not need a lot of visuals. So that can change the way you produce as well.
I've heard that authenticity is the most important thing to do in creating a YouTube channel, that your voice has to be your voice. You don't try to comment or to become somebody else, but you actually do what interests you and fires it up because that passion will come through in the video. Is that right?
Again, I think it depends on what you're creating, but I'd say 99.9% of the time, yes. When I worked in television, I worked with so many on-air people, and so many of them were exactly like they were on TV. Exactly. So if you saw them like at a coffee shop, that's the way they were going to be. A few of them turned it on. I don't think you can ever go wrong with just being yourself, period. Just being yourself. And I think that gets lost sometimes in the over-edited, over-scripted, over-produced. But again, it's a style. If I'm watching a video essay of a film, I'm not necessarily probably watching it for the creator. I'm watching it more for what it's about. I may never see the person on video because it may be a voiceover the whole time. There's a channel I follow that does that. And the videos are amazing. And I don't know if the guy's ever showed himself on camera, but I believe, especially with AI,
Yeah.
in some cases getting out of control. Yes, AI can create some amazing things. And I know AI can create, to a degree, even video that looks real, but it's really not. And it's not creating anything new. It still needs, the irony to me is AI still needs the human to tell it what to do. And even though you can train it on your voice, you can train it on your likeness, you can't train it to think exactly like you. And that's why I think authenticity will always win on some level. Yeah.
AI seems to be an ideal way to edit video and audio. It's worked very well for me in being able to save some time in that regard. But as far as creating AI content, I think humans have the upper hand yet at this point.
And I think we will, if not forever, for a long time. And I'm not against AI. I like to use AI to format things. Sometimes I used it to help me format the first book. I wrote it, but it helped me format it. I've used it to idea storm, as I call it. And sometimes the stuff is just, what? It's like what I was talking about. I don't use it to create for me. And there's some things I just won't use. Like I will not use AI. This is where I am right now. I will not use AI to create music because I feel what it's doing is it's sampling from known music. And I have such a respect for musicians and people that write that I'm like, yeah, I'll just not use the music if that's what it takes. Or if I absolutely need something original that I can't get out of a music library, then I'll pay to have it scored if I have that budget.
Okay. Your website talks about you being a man of faith. How do you incorporate your faith into your work?
There used to be a lot of different things I would do. And I feel bad saying that sometimes I get busy and I jump into things I don't think, but I used to always pray before I would edit and just God be with me in the edit, especially if I was doing like a story or something like that to just lead me through that. I try and be open about it. I don't know that I have done enough videos about how my faith walk has impacted my creative walk. I was just thinking about that the other day on doing something like that. Ultimately, my faith is the most important thing I have, period. It grounds me. It gives me calm. It gives me direction. And if anything, I think I really had to lean into God after the job went away. And I was just sharing this with somebody the other day. I used to do a really good job of talking about trust. I'd say, hey, Greg, you got to trust. You got to trust. And then when I was in that position, it was like, I felt God saying, you ready? And I kept pursuing a lot of what I wanted to do. And the doors kept shutting and shutting. And in fact, I thought I would get back into television because I had people saying, oh, Kevin, you're going to have people knocking down your door to get back in. And I joked that evidently everybody forgot where the door was because nobody ever knocked on the door and said, come back and work for us. I did apply at several different stations and it never worked out. And the last station I applied at, general manager, we'd gone to lunch several times and he said, do you really want to get back into television? I said, oh yeah. And I didn't. I wanted the salary and I thought I could just get back into it and just do it almost with my eyes closed. And I wanted the benefits and I didn't get the position, but I remember telling my wife that if this doesn't work out, I really believe God has got something else planned. I don't know what it is, but I think he's got something else planned. So that's a lot of what it is. I cringe when people say, you deserve your YouTube success. No, I don't deserve any of this. I've been very blessed by what I do. I don't know where, it's over here on a wall. I have a list of it used to be behind me. That's why I have a list of my gifts over here that I don't look at enough to remind me what I should be about. So long-winded answer, but that's how it plays out.
If you could turn the clock back, is there anything you do differently?
I don't know. I would have probably created more just for my own while I still had the team in TV, because again, television became what we were doing. It was my job. I had a team, but I wasn't really exercising my own creative muscles. So I would have done that, maybe experimented a little bit more, maybe not worried so much about the YouTube things. And I don't know, I would have probably not tried to do all the platforms all the time because that's what you were told. But other than that, I don't really know. I can't really change anything. All I can do is just think about today and tomorrow.
The doors opened, you walked through them. The doors shut, you didn't. That's
Absolutely.
all it is. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
What advice would you have for people over 50 who are struggling to figure out what to do that gives their life more meaning and purpose?
That's a good question. I can't say, I think I mentioned this in a video. I can't say I'm a journaler. I do keep a notebook on my desk. I tend to type more because I like to be able to type on my desktop, and it's on my phone and it's on the Mac. I use Apple Notes for everything. But what I found helpful a couple of times is I just grabbed my notebook, went to a coffee shop, disconnected, and just wrote out things, pages of what do I think I'm good at? What do I think I want to do? I did do a video on this where I was actually part of a video where somebody gave me this idea where I went on Facebook after the position got cut, and I asked people, I said, tell me what you think I'm good at. I said, if you could finish this phrase, Kevin is an expert at, even though I don't like the word expert, blank. And it was humbling what people came back with, but it was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. And I think it's just the introspection of, especially if you're a Christian, it's like, what's God gifted me with? Where does he maybe want me to do? Where can I be a little uncomfortable? And if it's a video, doesn't have to be that scary. I know it can be, but it doesn't have to be. The barrier for entry can be zero. And when I say that, if you have a phone, you got a camera. Most people have a phone that has a camera. Then you really have all you need, period. So I would say I don't believe in the ageism thing, even though I feel like I've seen it play out some. I don't think that was the case in my point, or the point in my case. I've seen it play out some, but the reality of it is sometimes life is just hard and we have to keep pushing forward. And like you just said, every shut door, there's another open door. We may not see it at the time. It may be completely a career change, but it may be the best thing that ever happened. And I also believe in planning. And I realize as we get older, it's hard maybe to do that. But my wife and I have always lived very frugal. And I think that has helped set us up as we get older. Some on my own, that's helped as well. I don't know about taking chances and following things, but I think just the quiet time and consulting others, but be careful who you consult.
Right.
Because everybody's got an opinion.
And they're dream stealers.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's a quote, and I can't think about it, or I can't remember it, but it's somebody else can't really see your dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd also say try and surround yourself with a handful of people that you can really trust to talk to, and they're going to shoot straight with you. You can shoot straight with them. And I've got those friends. I've got those friends like that. And that's huge.
I loved your advice about going to a coffee shop and unplugging and simply asking the Holy Spirit for advice, or just say, what do you want to tell me? If you don't even know what to ask specifically, then shut up and it will download all kinds of material that you can. I've written letters to myself doing that in the past.
That's cool.
It's been an amazing result. What do you do for fun?
Oh man, what do I do for fun? I don't know. It's funny. I used to collect comic books and it got too expensive. I still have them all. A lot of times it's, that's a great question. I don't know that I have anything specifically that I detach from this for. Our youngest son has special needs. So, that dictates a lot of our time. In the evenings, and I've been this way for a while. In the evenings, it's getting after 8. We're starting his last feed. He's tube fed. We start watching TV on Friday nights. We watch a movie and eat healthy so we can have ice cream. But I don't know. I think I just have fun every day in different ways. I don't go fishing and things like that. Things I did when our other two were younger, I don't do as much anymore now, but I don't know. I try and be chill. I love music, love TV, love movies. I don't read like my wife does. I try. I joke that I'd rather watch the movie. It's faster. But nothing amazing. I'm pretty boring.
How can people connect with you if they'd like to learn more about your courses or your books?
You can, my website or YouTube, those are the best places. The website is kevinkolbe.com, and then the YouTube channel is youtube.com /Kevin Kolbe.
Okay. Very good. Are you active on social media?
No, it's funny, and I need to do a video on this, so thanks for reminding me. Last November, I decided to take a break from social media. Nothing major happened. Every year at the end of December, I always, what I call, go dark on social media. I would get off social media, get off email and everything for a week or two, just didn't do anything. And so I think it was the end of November, I thought, I'm just going to take a break from all social media. And I didn't know how long it was going to be, but I didn't get back on any social media at all for anything until June 2nd. So I took 6 months off and then immediately deleted my Instagram account, LinkedIn account, and my Facebook page. And when I say deleted, I haven't had social media on my phone in years. It became a huge distraction because I found out if it was there, I'd check it.
Yep. And
so I ended up just staying with X, Twitter, and Facebook profile. And Greg, I hardly get on those anymore. What happened is I found out I didn't enjoy the social media like I thought. And I was like, it was wasting my time. And now I'd love to be able to say, I use that time to do a lot of other different things. I do think it got me more focused on my YouTube channel and other things.
Okay.
And when I had a chance to do some other projects. But anyway, long answer. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I don't really do anything out there for anybody to follow me. The accounts are public, but I just don't do anything on them.
Very good. Thank you for sharing your story today. I think it's inspiring. I think a lot of people over 50 can develop a channel of their own and start sharing their experiences and wisdom and knowledge and passion with other people and do it relatively affordably, just for fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There ain't nothing wrong with that at all. At all. Greg, thank you so much for having me on. It's been a privilege and an honor.
Kevin Kolbe finds deep meaning and purpose by helping people discover their own creative potential, especially when they're over 50. Through his books, Live Streaming Made Easy and Video Podcasting Made Easy, as well as his online courses and his one-on-one coaching, Kevin shows that anyone can use video to share their stories and make a difference regardless of their age or background. His faith continues to guide his work, which reminds him that each open and closed door leads exactly to where God intends. He believes YouTube is one of the most powerful platforms for people over 50 to express themselves. Whether you want to teach, inspire, or simply connect with others who share your interests, Kevin says the most important thing is to just start. You don't need expensive cameras, special lighting, or even editing expertise. You just need a message and the courage to share it. Your experience matters, Kevin explained. There's an audience out there that can benefit from what you've learned in life, and the world really needs your voice, he added. Through his own example, Kevin demonstrates that purpose doesn't fade with age, rather it evolves. By using technology creatively and faithfully, Kevin continues to help others to find confidence, connection, and fulfillment in the second half of their life. People can connect with Kevin on his website, which is available at www.kevinkolbe.com, or by subscribing to his YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/@Kevin Kolbe. That's all for this week's show. If you'd like to start living a more meaningful life, I encourage you to download our free guide to finding purpose, which is available at www.forwardfrom50.com. I'll have another inspirational interview on the next episode of the Forward from 50 podcast. Thanks for listening, and if you like this show, please consider leaving a review wherever you download the episodes.